Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, like when you're using the T charts and the Z charts, when you're looking for the p-value, when it's right till you do 1 minus whatever the p-value is.
Yeah, it's in the chart. So everything is open book. Let me actually share my screen. Okay, so let me share the screen. Okay. Okay, so let's actually go to our session. Modules. Yes. So you are, you are allowed to like, I recommend print all the tables, the probability tables.
Okay. Will we be able to use Excel during the exam?
No, you don't need to use Excel because like, let me actually show you some example, like why you don't need to use Excel. Okay, just give me a minute. Let me get my writing pad. Okay, just hold on a minute. Okay. Right. Let me, yeah, the tab is connected. Okay. So yeah, you don't need to use like Excel. So the example will be something like this. So let's say I will give you a question. Like I would say that this is a p-value of t-test statistics of negative 1.83 and the degree of freedom is 59. What is the p-value? Okay, so the question will be something like this. So let's say the t-test statistic. Okay, in the question is, let's say it's given negative 183. And the degree of freedom equals to, let's say, 59. I can ask what's the p-value for this case. So there could be multiple choice question like this, A, B, C, D, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it is like t dot dist dot rt, then you can write 1.83, 59, true. Okay, another could be 2 times t dot dist dot rt 1.83, sorry, 1.83, yes, 59, something like this. Another could be just t dot dist and then negative 1.83, 59, true, so on and so forth. So there will be 4 options. So which one should it be? Because it's a lower tail test, right? It's not 2 tail, so it cannot be B. So you cross out B. B cannot happen. So in this case,
It'd be C because it's
lower tail test, yes, it would be C, exactly. So it should be C, right? So that's how. So you don't need Excel because I will still give you this formation. So,
okay. We'll say if you were using a chart, because I like to know still like with using a chart without like all that technology, I still like to know the concepts. So if you were doing this problem, you wanted to look on a chart, could you show me how you would do it on the chart?
Yeah, on a chart, it's also easy. So you have to use a T table, right? So let me use my T table chart. So T table, BA 3400, this one, update it. Okay, so where is the T table? Here. Okay, so negative is basically we can use symmetry, right? Because this is only the upper tail they have given, and they have given us the degree of freedom, and also they should give us the level of significance, right? So let's say the significance is 0.05, negative 1.83, and negative 1.83. So negative 1.83 around here is around this region, right? Or 1.83. But the degree of freedom also should be given in the question. So it's 59. So it's somewhere around here, right? So I won't ask you any questions like you have to use charts for calculating p-value, especially using t-test statistic. So mostly the z distribution I will be asking. Okay, so I will let me actually give you guys some details how you would do that. Okay, so you should watch my videos actually. Let me just, I think I shared it in the announcement. Office hour session. I think last week, I think office hour video 3, right?
Mr. Doza,
Yes.
would we be able to have like two office hours this week, like this upcoming week?
2 office hours?
Yeah, if you can. If you can, it's fine. But I was just asking.
No, I will be busy, you know, like I work at the University of Michigan. So, and I teach at Wayne State part-time. So I will be busy, I think, the other days. So yeah, Antonio, so to answer your question, watch from 11 minutes of my office hour 3. Okay, so there I actually, you know, covered how to use T-table to, you know, solve the problem from 11 to about 22 minutes. Like, so watch it. You know, it will help you for the office hour 3 session.
Okay.
All right. Because I want to address as many questions as possible for you guys. So watch from 11 to 25 minutes. I think it's around that area.
Professor?
Yes, Ying.
I have questions about the test. Would you give us the sample of test like?
I have given you guys practice questions. You know, those are the sample questions. So if you go to the modules.
Oh, you already gave? Sorry, I didn't see it.
Yes, it's see in the bottom. It's like some MCQ type problems. It's test prep problems. So
okay.
You practice those ones for chapter 9, chapter 10. So it will be very similar, and do the worksheets also. I think that will help. So brief overview. See, I want to give you some hints, like what you should guys expect. Okay, so let me go to I want to highlight what are very important for the exam. Okay. So basic notation, you guys need to know all of these things, what this symbol represent. Mu is population mean, X bar is sample mean. So there will be 5 multiple choice questions from like what are these notation denote. P bar is sample proportion, right? And P is the population proportion. So always read carefully what I am asking, whether I am asking sample proportion or population proportion, observe it very carefully. So these are very important. You guys should know how to form the hypothesis test. It should be easy because I have covered that in the lectures. So it should be pretty straightforward in that sense.
Excuse me, Professor, we have access to this worksheet or to this sheet as well, right?
I will upload it, this one.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank
No
you.
worries. But there are too many things here. So you guys should know hypothesis test of a single population mean. Okay. How to calculate the test statistic. This formula, you can write it down in a piece of paper because it's open book, right? So jot down all the important formulas and maybe write all these things down. So, and if sigma is unknown, then we use t statistic. So always important formulas, write it down. And degree of freedom is n-1 when you do for the t-test statistic, right?
Professor, so do we need to use the lockdown or
What can you repeat the question again?
do we need to use the lockdown?
Yeah, lockdown browser, make sure you install it. You have to use lockdown and then you have to go to the quiz section. Then you will see it's written midterm 1 fall 2021.
How many hours you give us? I wish you can give us more time.
Yeah, there will be 55 multiple choice type question. Initially, I wanted to give 2 hours. Actually, everyone is giving 2 hours. But I will give my student extra 15 minutes. So it will be 2 hours, 15 minutes. Okay. So
Thank you.
yes. This is very important, hypothesis test for single population proportion, which this type of one question will come from this section. There will be 5 multiple choice also, like population proportion. Okay, and always remember population proportion, the z-test statistic. I will tell you calculate the z-test statistic. So you have to use this formula, right? Write down in your like a piece of paper, in 1 page, 2 page, you just write all the important formulas. Okay, so single population proportion I will definitely give. Okay, let me tell you another thing. So these kind of things we did in the exam. Yeah, like the critical value approach, p-value approach, logic of hypothesis testing. You guys don't need to go through that much.
Hey, I had a question.
Yes. Go ahead.
So when we're doing the point of estimate, and we have to do the plus or minus the two-tail critical value.
Yes, yes.
So say for instance we had something like that and it's unknown and we have to use like the degree of freedom to find it. And are we going to have to do all that and calculate the degree of freedom? Because that would take.
No. I am not going to give that. I'm not going to give that. That's like it will take half an hour just to solve one problem.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I was doing the homework the other night like that, and it literally took me like almost.
No. That won't be there. I will give you the degree of freedom. Don't worry about that thing. If I ask, I will give you the calculated degree of freedom. Okay.
So are you just gonna be asking questions like, should you reject this or should you not reject it, things like that?
Something like that, or find the z value, and to calculate the z value, it will be easy. Okay, it's not going to be that difficult. Use a scientific calculator in the exam. Let's say you have, I can ask what is the z-test statistic, and put your answer in 2 decimal or 3 decimal places. So in the question, it will be mentioned that put it to 2 decimal or 3 decimal. So read the questions. Yeah, I'm not asking the degree of freedom question. Don't worry. Yes.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Are we going to have the choice to use which approach we want to use on the exam in terms of like like critical value or p-value? Because I prefer to use the p-value, but are you going to specify if you want one or the other?
Yeah, I will specify one or two, one or the other, and see the exam will be multiple choice format. Okay, so it won't be that difficult, to be honest. Like if you watched all my videos, it should be very straightforward. I have made it very simple. Okay.
So we can't just use the one. We're going to have to use both on it.
Yeah, I will ask in the question like
Okay.
p-value or critical value. And I already answered Antonio asked that how are we going to solve the Excel problems, right? So you just give me this one. So in the MCQ, I will ask something like this. So it's pretty straightforward. So that part is pretty clear.
So we won't have access to Excel while we're doing the exam. Is that correct?
Yeah, you won't have access to Excel. Actually, you don't need Excel, to be honest.
Okay.
Okay, so
And do this page 31 problem. Okay, I will actually share the slides. This problem, very similar problem will be in the exam. 5 multiple choice may be coming from this part.
okay,
Yeah.
we are gonna need the charts though, right?
You mean the T table, Z table? Yes.
Okay.
Print it out. I actually have given in the exam, like you still will be able to view it. Like there will be a button, like you click on it, it will show the Z table. There will be a button on the T table, it will show in the T table, but it's like very small, the screen, if you're using a small screen, it's actually very difficult to see. So I recommend print the Z table and T table, okay? So print it out because it's an open book exam. So use as much resource you can. So that's my suggestion. And the type 1 and type 2 error, okay, this practice the slide 33 and the 34. Okay, actually 35 to be honest. So practice this. If it is false and you reject, and if it is true and you didn't reject, so what type of error are those, right? So 3-4 questions will come from this error, whether it's a type 1 error or type 2 error. So slide 31, slide 35 and 36. All right. So that's from chapter 9. Mostly, yeah, 35, 36, you guys practice, and it's covered in my lecture videos as well, right?
Okay, and say if you choose to not reject HO, and it's usually because there isn't enough evidence, right?
Yeah, if it's not enough evidence, like the level of significance, so you fail to reject HO, then HA is unsupported, right? I mean, you cannot accept HA. Once you reject HO, then you can, accept HA. That's correct. Yeah, you got your concepts correct. So from chapter 10, the things that I want you guys to, so we did hypothesis test about 2 population mean. So I have highlighted in yellow. So there will be 1 questions like that, okay? So yeah, I'm not going to ask this question which Antonio was referring to, that the calculating the degree of freedom. This is too much. It will be given to you if I ask. Okay. Difference of population mean. Difference in population proportion. Again, I'm saying I actually like the population proportion question. So I will ask you guys to calculate pooled estimator. So write down this formula in a piece of paper. Okay, I am definitely going to ask the pooled estimator question.
And what is that? The M1P? Yeah, what's that?
N1 is the sample size of sample 1. N2 is the sample size of sample 2. And P1 is the proportion of sample 1. P2 is the proportion of sample 2. So I might ask, what is the pooled estimator? Okay, but I will give you this, at least these things will be given in the question. Like the proportion of sample 1 is this, proportion of sample 2 is this. Maybe I will say sample A and sample B. You get the picture that A is 1 and B is 2, something like that. Okay, so pooled, this one, slide 10 of chapter 10, very important. Okay. Yeah, so the pretty much.
And wait, so for chapter 10, like the proportions, is it the same rejection rules?
Yeah, they're pretty much similar, right? It's very similar to chapter 9. Just that now we have 2. Previously, we only had 1, right? In chapter 9. So now is the difference between 2.
So basically, as long as we understand the worksheets, like and the problems, will be kind of good for the exam.
Yes, I believe so. Like if you guys do the worksheets properly, you watch the lecture videos properly, write down all the important formulas in a piece of paper. That's important. Pooled estimator will definitely show up in the exam. See.
I haven't watched chapter 10 yet, which I know I read in your announcement that this midterm or this like study hour would be unproductive, but like I think
Yes.
it's gonna be good. I think I'm gonna be good, hopefully.
Yeah, and see, I uploaded on Saturday chapter. Actually, I uploaded on Friday the handout 6 and handout 7, right? So there will be like 1 or 2 questions from the lower bound and upper bound. Like you have to calculate those things.
Wait, lower bound and upper bound, what like
the confidence intervals. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, watch the latest videos. There will be a couple of questions, but again, I'm not going to ask you degree of freedom. Okay, don't worry, I will give it to you.
So that way we can just look up the double tail critical value with the degree of freedom, and that way we could just plug it in.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, this formula, the confidence intervals level, like the proportion, and the other one also, the mean. Okay, upper tail and the lower tail. Okay, so maybe you can do the slide 24 problem, which was covered actually in our video, so you can watch it. Yeah, so yeah, maybe 25 and 24, 25, 26, the last 3 slides. So there could be 3 to 5 questions from here as well. Okay. So total 55 questions. Yeah, I almost covered everything what's going to be there in the midterm, multiple choice format. Print all the tables. It's important. Let's see. Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. I don't want this to come off like disrespectfully at all. I'm just generally wondering.
Okay.
If I feel like all of our homework expects us to do all the math like through Excel. So why would we not be allowed to use it on the exam? I'm just wondering.
Oh, okay, no, it's a very good question. The problem is the logistics, like in the exam, like we don't have the like how to use it in the format, and you don't need Excel because none of the problems actually need Excel. Only 1 or 2 problem, and I actually have told like Antonio asked a question in the beginning of the session, so I actually answered it. So I will upload this video on my channel, so you guys will be able to see. So I answered, if a question comes up, like calculate the p-value with t-test statistics negative 1.83 and degree of freedom 15.
Right.
So here it would be C, right? Because it's not a two-tailed, it's a lower tail question.
Of course, yeah.
So something like this will come up.
So that'll be the extent of it. Okay.
Yes, and the two-tailed, you can cancel B because you know it's a lower tail. So of course B cannot happen.
Mm-hmm.
And A also, because it's dot RT means right tail, right?
Right.
So A also cannot happen. So what are the other options left, C or D? So D, maybe I will give something like this, 2 times T dot dist, okay, something like this. Okay, here it's a negative lower tail, but the problem is this is multiplied by 2. So this is also not going to happen. So what are the probable options in this case?
Okay, got it.
Let's see. So something like this will show up. So you don't need Excel. You just need to know, okay, so yeah, so this is the one that makes sense because
Okay.
lower tail, and it has to be a true, right?
Right.
If you, let me show it to you. Yeah, lower tail test format is this one. Right. Two tail test format is this one. Okay, or it could be this one too. Like two tail, you can either use the right tail or you can use even the lower tail. You can use any of the tails.
Mm-hmm.
One tail, if it's right tail, then it's like this. There is no true and there is RT, right? And lower tail, there is no RT, but you have to write true here. So these are the only 4 combinations, 4 or 5 combinations that are important.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Any other things that keep your calculator there? Okay, no webcam monitoring, because previously it used to scare students. Like if some webcam is monitoring you, it decreases your performance. But I would suggest, just do your problems, like print the tables, the T and Z.
I have one question.
Yes,
Just why wouldn't it be A again?
because it's a right tail, right?
Oh yeah.
Dot
yeah.
RT. So if you're calculating lower tail, the formula cannot have RT. That's why it's not A.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And you said you oh, never mind. Okay, never mind.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna
I
say-
didn't see the RT. I see the negative 1.83.
Yeah, to confuse you, I can do this, right? So you have to watch it carefully. Is there a RT here? Is there a negative here? Or
I see the 59 is you write a 52.
yeah, I can do.
I thinking there with, so that's why I
Okay,
pick out
59.
C.
Right. Yeah, I can even change the numbers. Let's say I wrote 50. Obviously, it's not going to happen because the degree of freedom is 59. How can 50 happen, right? Or I can keep it as 59. So just keep it as 59. But because it's a RT, so RT is not a lower tail test. Negative means it's in the lower tail.
And the Z and T statistics for lower tail test are they always usually negative?
Yes, lower tail is always negative. So if I draw the number line,
Professor, if the positive, so what's the
negative, positive. Positive is right tail. If it's the value is positive, it will be right tail test, right?
so what's the, is that RT?
Then it will be RT. Yeah, you are right. If it was positive, let's use a blue color for positive. Okay, red is negative. Let's say. So if it was positive, okay, why did it become pink? Just blue. If let me form another question here. T test statistic equals to positive 1.73. Degree of freedom is 50. What would it be in that case? The correct answer, T dot dist dot RT. You put this one first, right? 1.73, then degree of freedom. You don't need to write true. So this should be the correct answer, right?
Yeah, and if it's double tail, you just once you
If
find
it's, yes, if
double-
it's two-tailed, the t-test statistic would be what?
Negative, positive.
It will be both negative and positive, yes. If it is both positive, negative, then it's a two-tailed test, right? Because it's on both sides.
so once you find the p-value for the two, the positive and negative, do you double it or what? No,
You double it, yes. So you can do 2 times t dot dist dot rt 1.73 and 50, right? So let me, or you can use any of the tail in this case. You can either use 2 times the positive tail, or you can do 2 times t dot dist, the negative tail you can use.
Oh, cool. 'Cause
Professor,
50 true. Yes.
the positive with the, don't need to put true in the behind,
2 behind.
true. Because negative, you need to put true or not true.
No, negative also you do too. So, like, let me highlight it. I think it will be easier for you guys to visualize.
Like lawyer test, you need to put
Yeah,
true.
true.
in the
Yes,
last.
yes, true. I have put true here. Yes, for the negative. Yes, I didn't write clearly, but yeah.
what about the top one? Would you put true on that one too? Or?
Right tail you don't write true.
Okay.
That's
Right?
why I ask this.
Yes. So let me write it cleanly. Okay? True. Yes. Yeah. Good. So these are the things you guys should know. So you don't need Excel basically to calculate p-value. Because I will only ask you this. I'm not asking you give me the exact p-value, because that will be unfair, right? Because I don't give you Excel and then I expect you to, so you just give me this form. That is fine.
And most of the time you are going to give us the Z or T statistic or the T test or whatever.
For the t-test, yes, for the t-test, I will give it like this. For the z-test, you can calculate the p-value, right? Let me ask a question right now, because I created the question. Let's say z-test statistic is 1.54. Okay, so what is the p-value in this case? So is it upper tail or lower tail?
Upper.
Upper tail, right?
So we need to find a z-score.
So you use the z table, yes. So
Z-score, yeah.
so z table. Let me, where is the folder? Check. Yeah, you have to use the z table here.
Hey, can you show how you would do the Z table if it was a degree of freedom as well, just to see both ways, or
Z table, you don't.
or
Like,
the T? I'm just saying, can you do another example of using one with degree of freedom?
degree of freedom, yeah, I can do it. See, we didn't teach you that. That's a little bit more advanced for the master's level classes, because that will confuse you guys a lot. So that's why we introduce Excel to calculate the p-value. Okay, but yeah, you can find using the table too.
Well, wait. I thought you, if you have the degree of freedom given, that if it's unknown, you would use a degree of freedom, right?
See, the degree of freedom, like you want to use table to calculate the p-value, right? You are saying that.
Yeah.
For the t table, that we didn't cover in class, and we are not going to ask you questions on that. But that can be done. We didn't teach you guys that. So for calculating p-value for t table, we told you use Excel, right? So you guys used Excel to find the p-value.
So most of the questions will be known standard deviation.
Yes, for the T table, see, for the T table, it will be known, and let me open the T table. Where is it? Okay. See, for the T table, how are you going to find, let's say 59 and 1.83, right? So this is the upper tail. This is the upper tail. Okay, so you can find it, the p-value. So let's say 59, right? This is 1.67, this is 2.01. So 1.83 is somewhere between here, right? So what would be the p-value in this case? P-value would be between 0.05 to 0.025. But we didn't teach that in the course. Okay, so don't worry about it. I'm not.
Yeah, I'm confused this too.
Yeah, I don't want to confuse you guys. Don't worry. I'm not asking p-value for t distribution.
Oh, okay, all right.
Because we have this
Okay.
homework. And remember, we have this homework.
And yeah, for the undergrad level, you guys don't need to know. You just know how to use Excel. That's good enough. If I ask what is the p-value, if you see right tail, use positive. It's lower tail, use true. True, and it should be negative value. Right? So yeah, I don't want to confuse you guys. All right. Don't worry about these things too much. I would say do the proportion test. Okay, proportion test, 10 questions will be there. I created the exam, so you have to believe like what I am saying.
You said proportion test, like the T and the Z test?
Yeah, Z single proportion, and also for the difference in proportion test. Okay,
Yeah.
I will upload both these documents. Yeah. So I think that
Still take
was.
the quiz, right? Can we still take that 4-question quiz?
Yeah, you take the 4-question quiz to accustom yourself to the environment, how to, like in the exam, how it will show up.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I will ask you guys the proportion question for sure. All right. And the confidence intervals, like practice them. Okay, so that was like last week, but watch it within the next 2-3 days, these things, especially the 24, 25, okay, and 26. Yeah, I think you guys should be all good. Okay, don't panic. I am giving you guys 50.
Yeah, worried.
No, don't worry. I carved the exam too. So if the whole class performs badly, I do a generous carving. But of course, I want you guys to do well. Okay,
Do you usually give curves? Do the class usually do bad, or do they usually do good?
I have like mixed things. Like some classes did well, and some classes did like some sections. But usually the first exam people do, I mean, relatively okay, I think, the first exam. From the second and the third exam, people usually do much better because then they know that, oh, this is how he structures the question. Okay. And you guys will get extra 15 minutes. So the other sections are only getting 2 hours. You guys will get 2 hours, 15 minutes. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. So you guys have some extra time, because it requires thinking. It's not like just to go there and just check A, B, C, D. It's not going to help you. You have to think, and then you have to, solve the problems.
So is the p-value sort of like it is the level of significance?
P-value, yes, it is kind of the, like, when to reject now. Let's say some people choose 0.05 as the standard, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm a very critical guy, I will choose 0.01. Like I am like, oh, the margin of error can be only 0.01, like for some cases. especially in the medical school, like where I'm working at U of M, like they are very strict. They are like, oh no, it has to be, this has to be within 0.01 precision level, or it depends on the question you are setting or on the standards you are setting, right? So it will depend on that. Yeah, but standard practice is 0.05. But in the question, read carefully. Okay, I might ask a question like, the level of significance is 0.01, and you got a p-value of like say 0.03. Do you reject? No, right? Because your p-value is bigger than the alpha.
Okay.
Right, because alpha, if the question says 0.01, but your p-value is 0.03, you fail to reject.
You only reject when it's less than or equal to, right? Or
Yeah, when it is less than alpha. If I set the alpha high, let's say 0.05, and your p-value was 0.03, then you can reject, because now it is less than alpha.
and what if it was the same? You would still reject, right? Or
Yes, less than or equal to sign. So p is less than alpha, equal to alpha. Yes, you will still reject, right?
It's independence is up lower chair or up tail.
Yeah, it is regardless. So the formula is always like p-value less than or equal to alpha, p-value is less than or equal to alpha, right? So it doesn't matter, as long as the p-value is less than or equal to alpha, you reject. Right?
But if up tail is different, the lower tail is different.
See, the alpha, the p-value, you have to, you have to calculate the p-value if it's like a z distribution, right? That you guys, I have taught how to calculate that one, right? And you can use the z distribution table, like 1.14. So you got a p-value like something like this, right? 0.1272. This is for the upper tail. And negative 1.24, it will be same. See, because of symmetry, right? Negative 1.14. Let's. So it's 0.127, the p-value, right? For negative 1.14, and for positive 1.14.
you said it's negative 1.127.
No, let's say z test statistic, because z test statistic of negative 1.14.
And you said it was negative. And what did you say about negative 1.212?
This is the p-value, right?
Yeah.
So what would be the p-value? Then p-value is 1271.
Oh, I thought that was a negative sign. Okay, never mind. All right.
Right? P-value is always positive, no matter if it is lower tailed or upper tailed. So in the upper tail, 1.14, what is the p-value? This is positive 1.14, right? P-value is also same. Why it is the same? Because of symmetry, because the shape of the z distribution.
And negative is positive, right?
Yes, so both area are same. So if I draw the area under the curve, so this is positive 1.14, this side is negative, right? So this area and this area, both of the areas are same, 0.1271, 0.127.
So if you're asking us about questions from chapter 9 and 10 about whether to reject or not, it's pretty much 10 will be the same as 9 because you'll be given us. Okay, all right, cool.
Yes. Now actually chapter 10, see, if you know chapter 9, 10 should be very straightforward, and once you watch the video, you practice the worksheet, I don't see why you guys will face any issues. Yeah.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, you're welcome. All the best, guys, and don't worry. print all the tables. Okay, just try your best.
Because I'm not study the chapter 10 yet.
Have a good night, Professor.
Yeah, do the chapter 10, 6 and 7, like 5 multiple choice will come from there.
Yeah, I will do, I think, in the Tuesday,
Yes.
because I have 2 tests last week, so that's why I don't have time for chapter
Okay.
10.
Okay, yeah, all the best, guys. Have a good one.
Mm.
Do you mind if I ask you a quick
Hi,
question
Professor.
about homework?
Yes, Nick, yeah, go ahead.
I actually have it pulled up and is there a way I can share my screen so I can show you?
Let me see. Let me allow participant to share screen, and I have to unshare, I think. Then you can share. Yes, yeah. Can you share your one?
Yeah, this should be it right here. Did it go?
Or the Excel problems?
Yeah, it's marking the degrees of freedom and as well as the p-value. It's marking both of them wrong, but I'm just not sure why.
10.22a. Okay, I will send you I will take a look at your problem, okay?
Okay.
And I will tell you, actually I uploaded, have you watched my videos, the chapter 10 mind tape problems?
No, I didn't see him. I
Oh.
watched chapter 10 lecture, but I didn't see the
Oh
problem.
yeah, don't watch the video now because you guys don't have enough time. But I will actually give you the time frame that you watch from this minute to that minute. So maybe just watch 5 minutes.
Okay.
You will be able to figure it out.
Okay.
Yes. 4 decimals. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Professor. I gotta go.
Okay. Sure. Bye bye, guys.
Bye.